Sports outside today. It was pretty good.
Well, that's never good for the environment. Let's just be honest.
The hairy legs, it filters the air.
That's it, man. That's it. Rocking and rolling with that. Sure. Yeah. No, yeah, good weather. I think there's, some of the models have a potential snow this weekend, but not putting a lot of thought into it. But wind galore. There's a lot of storms going on all over the place. So, yeah, a lot of wind's going to be kicking in tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, today was nice. It actually in the car, it said 67 degrees on the dashboard thermometer. Tried the AC out, gave it a little test, and then tomorrow's supposed to be just as warm, but rain. I think from what they're saying, the bulk of the heavy going south of us and cutting up north by you guys.
Yeah,
we have like it's not even, I think maybe scattered or somewhere between scattered and isolated chance of severe storms tomorrow. So we should be okay.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. It's, of course, the joys of teenage daughters who know it all. We were in the car and they were complaining about the temperature. And I said, listen, the joys of living in Pennsylvania, you're going to wake up and in the morning, it's going to be chilly. You're going to dress, you're going to throw a jacket on, a sweatshirt on, whatever the case may be. I said, and then, afterwards, you're going to be coming home from school. It's going to be warm. You're going to be, why did I wear this jacket? And she's driving. So, of course, I'm like, the car is going to be cold. And, of course, I get, my window's open. My window's open. And when I was telling my wife that, she goes, that's because I go and warm her car up for her. I run it for a little bit before my wife leaves for work. And then she gets in the car. She goes, so, of course, it's warm in her car because I have the heat going for her in the morning. But of course, it's no, I got the window open. I'm good, Dad. It's not cold. I'm good. I'm like, all right, whatever. And yeah, but we're at that time, just you're trying to gauge and judge what you're going to wear and like what you start the day off with. And afterwards, you're like, yeah, I'm not wearing that jacket out to the car. It's pretty good outside. So
yeah,
I've been doing outside and good.
No, go ahead. Finish. I
was just gonna say, and then at school, getting the kids outside, recess, getting them running around. You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff, but just get them to exercise and, come in a little tired in the afternoon. That's always the goal.
It's been for us. Go with the entire. Oh, hit a button here. Hat, gloves, coffee, shivering outside in the morning, and then carry them out after bus duty. In the afternoon, I'm just wearing regular shirt.
Yeah,
it's that crazy weather.
You have morning and afternoon bus duty?
No, I don't have afternoon, but the morning I'm all bundled up. Then afternoon, I go walking out to my car, and it's at the end of the day, I'm like, sometimes just wear my coat because it's easier, and I throw it in the trucks. I'm like, enough to carry.
Yeah. No, it's definitely that interesting time, and of course, the little bit of football talk is the different franchise tags kind of being tugged, and some of the players getting some different deals, and a lot of questions in Pittsburgh still. Who knows who's gonna be controlling the rock next season? I don't know.
I know, and it could be neither one of them because technically we don't have any quarterbacks under contract.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, it really is. You just never know. Wild stuff.
Draft time.
That it is. Getting down to it. It's gonna.
I don't know if
crazy.
I didn't hear of the Steelers putting anyone a franchise tag, which was interesting.
Yeah, they said a lot of this is like the least amount of franchise tags that there's ever been. That's all I heard. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Dolphins. I've not heard much about them as far as that goes. But I've only heard like one or two guys that possibly got the franchise tag. Other than that, trying to line people up.
Yeah, since he's trying to get some stuff going. So I always watch them.
That was one team that I heard did, but yeah, that's one team I heard did use the franchise tag. I don't know. Something Bakua. I don't know what the player is. I don't know. One player that I thought they talked about with Cincy, but I'm not sure who it was.
Yeah. Oh, not Jamar. No, not Jamar Chase. He's the one they're keeping. I forget.
Yeah.
I know the name. I could look it up, but it's,
I don't know. Is Nancy speaking? Oh, she said, do you see that comment about getting rid of Wilson? And
yeah, Fields.
She's speaking your language there, buddy.
Oh, Tyreek Hill. He's a Philly boy, or not Philly, Miami.
He was, but he wants out, so I don't know where he's going to end up. Yeah, I don't think they're going to tag him. He's a great player, but what has he done for them? You know,
I think
3 years, and they don't throw the ball enough at Pittsburgh. Tomlinson would have to have a total change of philosophy for that to even be.
That's
worthwhile.
The beauty, because everyone's like, oh, these free agents, this quarterback's going to come here, and they're like, quarterback threw for 5,000 yards. That's good, but we want to run the ball. It's like this receiver will come like, we want to run the ball. So why would you come here if you have a choice?
Yeah, they got to figure it out.
I hate
like
saying that, but
it's true. It is. He's got to have that philosophy. Hey, my college coach was, your run game opens up your pass game. You just got to remember to use the pass game. That's the big thing. You just keep cranking and grinding it out. So, all right. Well,
Nancy's getting in on the football talk. Yeah,
she's good, man. She's our background researcher. I like that. All right. And it was great seeing you at PNC as well. I know she commented on that earlier. All right, man. Well, let's see. Based on the calendars, it's crazy. It's March.
I know.
We're in the third trimester. Are you guys quarters?
We're quarters, so we're almost done with the third quarter. The end of this month, we're done.
Yeah. It's wild. Time's a flying. But also on my calendar, not only is it March, we had off on Monday. And so even though today's my Monday, it's actually Tuesday. Yeah. And oddly, I think it's it might be the first Tuesday.
Yeah, because Saturday was the first.
Yeah.
So that makes this the first Tuesday. Because I
only teach sixth grade. I only teach sixth grade math, but I can count that high. But well, you're here, I'm here. It's first Tuesday. I think it's time for
the PHAT pod.
Let's roll it. Welcome to the PHAT Pod, a show for educators by educators. PHAT is a 100% volunteer-run organization that focuses on education technology integrations in the classroom in Pennsylvania
and beyond.
My name is Eric Verno. I am the president of PHAT, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host,
Dom Salvucci. I'm the vice president of PACT.
All right, man. So episode, like every time I always have to go back and count because I'm like, how long have we been doing this? This is just amazing. So we are looking at a flashy episode 76, and today is PHAT Tuesday.
PHAT Tuesday.
A wonderful time where Foschnots show up all around. Did you have your Foschnot donut today?
No, we were talking about different kinds of donuts, although I had a student give me a piece of that king cake. I haven't had that yet.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't had one of those. Okay. All right. Yeah, we have there's a big discussion on team because, of course you go to your Catholic churches and, they got the ladies that are there doing it for years, tried and true. That's like, some of them are just diehard. That's where you have to get it. And the one woman I work with was grew up in the Lebanon area in Pennsylvania. And the one church she always gets from, they had like a major issue with water, plumbing, all sorts of stuff. So they actually had to like cancel all their orders. But then we have a local donut shop, the Maple Donuts in our area. And they had, all their donuts, they switched it over to the potato based donut. And so she grabbed so I had one of those, a half of those, because it's a diet if you only have half during the day. And then of course I'm getting ready to leave school and I get a text message from my wife saying, your daughter wants to know if you're picking up donuts on the way home. I was like, I guess I am now. And so had to pick up half a dozen, two of this, and do the deal. But no, you guys have had none, huh? I tell you.
Had none. There we go. No. I'm making myself dizzy because I'm a little cattywampus today.
Oh,
you are. Back and forth. I'm like, oh.
You forgot to pre-show check your line. Okay.
No, I did. It's just the camera was on a tilt.
Hey,
It
listen,
it looked like it was lined up, but I was like,
it's real simple. It's real simple. In the realm of Batman, I'm the good guy and you're the bad guy because you're on the angle. It's just how it rolls.
yes.
Or it's the fight scene, or you're in
And
the
I
fight
dressed
scene and I'm in the pre
flamboyantly.
scene. That's next week when we're closer to St. Patty's Day.
Yes. Well, I was checking
Yeah,
that
good
out.
tradition.
See if I had to go up in the attic, but today I had on a cape and crown. I got to get an Elvis jumpsuit, but I got to lose a little bit of weight so I can be the thinner Elvis for whenever we do. Because we do like different things at school, and you know, an Elvis jumpsuit would be perfect because like we did the one year we did Jersey Day. And I convinced kids, I think I told you the story. I convinced kids that it was dressed like you're from Jersey, not wearing a jersey. And I dressed like Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos. I had the white going back in my hair. Didn't shave the goatee, but I wore the shirt, had the mannerisms. The kids, and one of my students was like, you know, we're just told our class, like, we did this wrong. Mr. Sal said we're supposed to dress like we're from Jersey. I says, I wanted to go like from, you know, Jersey Shore, but it was too inappropriate to dress that way. So, you know, I didn't want to dress like Bon Jovi. I didn't have the big hair, so I went as Paulie Walnuts.
That's funny. There are some limits. There are some limits. That's funny. That's funny. Good stuff. All right. Well, so we talked about getting into the different discussions, you know, Fat Tuesday, the Fashnot scenario. We said, you know what? The ideas are just delicious. That's our tagline for our episode 76 here. And so we're going to be focusing. It's you and I. It's the tried and true duo, cranking it out, getting into some tech notes and tech news. What do you think?
Yeah. Sounds good. No glasses today, so tipping our cards. You have the glasses, but
I know.
Intelligent.
Is that what it is? That's what it is. I'm always trying to pull off that look. That's how it works. All right. Well, listen, we're going to jump straight into, and I just have one tech news item. We're going to kick off with that one. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. So in the news, I know we chatted about it briefly. Even you being a Mac guy have heard about Microsoft pulling the plug on Skype. It's crazy.
Deep.
Yeah, but you know what I thought, you know, just reading the article and just thinking back, like, you know, it's been a while. I mean, even like, you know, it's been a while since we've used it, but it really came on the scenes and there was all sorts of like mystery Skype. And there was just a lot of amazing things where Skype was being used. It, you know, now everybody's using Zoom, different things, you know, but I've heard 3 podcasts today where, you know, one was a Mac podcast, one was a Microsoft podcast, and one was just like a daily tech news kind of thing. And all of them were referring to, one of them was getting spam through their Skype. The other one was like, what are we going to do? They're pulling Skype, you know, and the third one was just talking about some of the issues with Skype. So it really is used quite a bit. But I you know, go back to the thing that, you know, $8.5 billion they bought it. Skype wasn't even a Microsoft product, kind of like, you know, Gmail wasn't a Google product. Google Docs wasn't a Google product. YouTube wasn't a Google product. They bought all these things. But yeah, so from back in the day, so nearly 14 years ago, they purchased it. So Skype in May 2025 will be pulled. And they're going to be focusing more on, you know, pulling in the, pushing everybody over to Teams. And there's a free Teams client that they're expecting everybody to use. But the way a lot of people use Skype, and I hear overseas India is really big. I mean, the texting through Skype is like, that's their main back end. But so that's interesting. And even some of the educational implications there. So Skype will be officially no more.
That's a throwback to my tech coaching days. Remember when we first started, we talked about that. Twitter, you know, 144 characters. Twitter was the main thing because as tech coaches at the time, if you don't know, little history lesson for some of the youngsters out there, school district's email was locked down. So if you didn't have the, you know, school district abbreviation at school district abbreviation k12.pa.us, you were blocked. You couldn't get through to other school districts, even as educators. So we used people didn't know to block Twitter because it was brand new. And I think as you've said, you can get on Twitter, put a tweet out at 10 o'clock at night, next morning, get up and it's still on your main feed. It's not drop down pages upon pages. We would, send tweets, and it was like, I have an issue, and someone will respond, here's a quick fix. If not, get on Skype. And Skype wasn't blocked in the districts. We were a Lenovo district, and we would use Skype for bigger problems to troubleshoot and Twitter for short problems. And that's how we communicated as tech coaches across the state. I was a cohort 3 for CFF. And that was the lifeblood. You didn't have Zoom. You didn't have Teams.
Yeah.
You didn't do a lot of these things. So it was like Skype was cutting edge. It's like, get on, make a I almost said Zoom call, make a Skype call, go over like, here's how you fix this. Here's what you need. Because I can't send you the file, to school because my email's blocked in your district.
Or it only had 2 megabytes, 5 megabyte limits as far as sending files. So yeah. And there was no Google Drive or anything like that to kind of put stuff in the back end. So yeah, it definitely was a different day and age. So yeah, it came on and did some great things for education for other people. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. But end of an era. But they're moving a lot of things over to that Teams platform, which if you're using Teams, you're loving it. If you're not using Teams, you're not happy about it. So
yeah, I got to see. We were talking before. I have to see. I still may have some money on my account. I may have to make some Skype calls.
Yep. Yeah. Or prior to that, it was like IRC. Remember IRC clients?
Yeah.
Gosh, I remember getting on one of those with the first ever laptop I ever had in college. Oof. That was pretty little rough. I think they still use IRC different places, but yeah, that was kicking it old school for sure.
Yeah, we didn't have laptops when I was in college. We had electric typewriters.
Yeah. Well, no. The college didn't have it. I just happened to get it on a grant to be able to use for a program I was doing when I was doing grad work. So it was not. Yeah. No, there was nothing on campus. It was all the Apple IIe's, and I don't even know what the update it was before I was out of there, but
I think
it was bare bones.
IUP had some maybe word processors in one of the dorms. So it was like, that was my graduation present, electric typewriter.
Gotcha. Yeah. And even back then they had Unix servers. So Planet X was the big one that, all the emails that when they did set up email, but boy, it was basic. Yeah. And then even your, the little bit of getting online, and it was all text based. So the picture of you and I would all be letters, ASCII letters to make our pictures. It was crazy. You're waiting, sitting in a lab and waiting for 10 minutes. And this picture is just line by line by line. And it's just XXX, all the different things just to make it look like a person. It was so crazy compared to what we're doing now. We're multi-streaming to 3 different platforms live and people interacting, but yeah, boy, we've come very far.
My research class in grad school, Cal U, now it's Penn West, California. We went in, we had our notebooks, and they're sitting there trying to explain to us how to search on the internet, and it's putting words in quotes or putting them in brackets and use this but not that, and you have to add this word, and sit there and I type it in, and I get 3 hits, and 2 of them are the same. And it's like, why am I doing this? There's a card catalog. They have microfiche. This is a waste of my time. And, now, you don't you type in a phrase and, billions of hits come up. But never do it in front of the class because you never know what's going to show up.
Yep. You gotta be careful. All right. Well, we'll roll over into our tech notes, and I think you have one tech note to share, right? But it's gonna be a little bit longer. And I have a quick one, and then one that's a little longer. So I'll go first. We'll have you go second, then I'll kick it off at the end. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Let's roll into our tech notes. You know what? Let me quickly check something here because I'm not sure if I have sound ready to go. What's that?
That was kind of a little bit behind the scenes, bonus scenes from Pete and C behind the curtain of the show. Us doing some on screen, producing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I want to make sure this video plays, but so sticking with the Microsoft theme, you got Skype, and then Copilot is their Chat GPT, overlay. And there was a real big push this week. I think Mac, if people they're on the insider builds, Mac got the fancy new updated desktop app first, and then it rolled out to Windows. But what people are really talking about is the mobile app. So just let me know if this sound plays for you.
Not
No
here.
sound?
No sound.
Huh. Okay. All right. Well, it's okay. It's just basically, so I'll talk you through it. It's basically like setting it up that you're going to be talking, you hit the microphone, and that's flowing back and forth. So the first set of text was the person talking to the phone. The stuff in the green is Copilot's voice that's selected, talking right back. So they're really pushing the conversational style.
Nice.
Add a little bit of a British tone, so the walkies and the different things. But
Yeah.
they're really setting up now. I have it on my phone. I've not necessarily really practiced doing it, so that's why I kind of had the video. But if you just do a quick search for Copilot on mobile is what to pull up to this page, and it just kind of scrolls through how they're trying to really set it up. I know ChatGPT came out with their version that is very much a conversation that you could have back and forth. And so this is the Microsoft's version where you could basically flow through with like, hey, I'm looking for a restaurant that has X, Y, and Z. It'll give you back, okay, what are the ratings on Yelp or whatever? It'll kind of come back. Okay, I really like that second one. What are the directions to it? How far away? But it's more of a back and forth. So this is kind of like that, envisioning down, what was the I guess it was the movie with the computer. I didn't watch it, but kind of that interaction that the guy had. So this is like, it's kind of like the next step. Even one thing I do like is Microsoft Designer. So I feel like Copilot's pulling that in where you can create some of our graphics that we use and our backgrounds are, I make it in Microsoft Designer. I pull it over into Canva. So it's just even in the conversation, you kind of make a reference. She's talking about wanted to make a shirt for her brother. He loves talking to his wiener dog for pup cups, and it makes a quick picture for them, kind of a deal. So it's like in that flow, kind of how are you using it? So again, it's platform agnostic. It's on iPhone, it's on Android, all the different platforms. So just thought that's an interesting tech note to share. Just some more things. Again, we want to try to stay relevant with the AI and the stuff that they're doing. So so Copilot conversations.
And that's good because AI is supposed to be a back and forth, not just a one and done. So that even just goofing around with it gets people into that process of communicating back and forth.
And it kind of goes back to that mindset. I know you and I talk about it. We definitely share appreciation for the way that it was first shared with us as a PHT board. That it's a conversation starter, it's an idea starter, it's a think partner. And now you're taking it to a whole other level. So talk about, headsets on, walking, or just doing whatever, just having a conversation and kind of like spit firing ideas kind of deal. And as long as you're signed into your account, it'll have it. Now, here's the interesting thing. That Skype account, like you were saying, like, if I log in with my school account, that's not available. It's just got to be a free Microsoft account is the way it's set up because there's different parameters for, EDU accounts. So the M365 account through my school, that's not available. Even Designer, not available yet.
Okay.
But just with a free account. So if you don't have one, just go to outlook.com, create a free account. The Designer works. This would work on that. So, but then you could still save that conversation and you can go through later if you need to pull information out of it. So, I'm just definitely interested in doing that whole like thinking through lesson ideas, thinking through activities, and kind of like going back and forth. I'm curious how that rolls. So, yeah.
Cool.
All right.
That is
all right. Nice. You ready for your tech note?
Yes.
All right. We're going to unload the vault here. Here we go.
So, talking, I was at Tretzy and then again at Pete and C, talking with people at Magic School AI. I have a trial version for the bump up, and I've been doing some of the trainings. I'm up through the level 4, and I have a level 1 student. My goal this year was for me to roll out AI with my students. I've been using it for a while, and what I've been doing to this point is whenever I use it, I go over it with them. If I'm using CuraPod, Magic School, Diffit, the different ones, I'll show the kids the process I use and go through everything. As I'm flailing about here talking with my hands, but my hands are off camera. So, I show the process of what I'm doing with the students, and I wanted to take the next step and get this into the hands of the kids. So I've been playing with chatbots, and I tried rolling out a chatbot, and I don't think it was Magic School. I tried a chatbot back in the fall, and it wasn't very good. I did Winston Churchill. We were in World War II, and I asked some school appropriate, but off the wall, not your common textbook questions of Winston Churchill, and it didn't have any information for me. And I'm like, I'm not going to use this because if it's just textbook information, it's very basic, very bland. It doesn't serve a purpose for me. It's going to be boring. So I scrapped it. And playing with Magic School, I went in and we're in Cold War. We've covered a bunch of units. And I says, instead of giving the kids a test, I'll give them a different activity to do. So I created a chatbot. Now we go back. This is the student rooms. Let me go back over here to my stuff. I go Magic Tools. And you create a custom chatbot. I went through and I made one, and it's just Cold War, real basic. And I just put in, the basic code is, and I think I'm going to turn this into a rap song. I'm going to trademark it. Who, what? Great rap lyrics. Who is the chatbot? Who are you? Who is the chatbot talking to? What is your topic? And then you can add all kinds of other information in if you want. But right now keeping it basic with the kids. Who, what? And every class, like I went in. I went in as Stalin or Cold War figure. Started asking questions, and it was giving me feedback. And it was more than just your standard textbook feedback. It has more of a base it's drawing from. So I decided I'm going to try this with the kids. This would be a great way to dip their toe in to the process. So if you go back to Magic School, you have all the tools you can use. Create custom tools, image generator, which I want to work with Adobe AI. All kinds of different things you can do. And there's a couple different chatbots. There's a character chatbot and the custom chatbot. I'm doing the custom. So any of these tools you can pull in and use with the kids. Well, I went in, hit launch the students, and I created my classrooms. Just label however you want. My name, Sal, and what period they're in. You can edit. You can assign specific tools. I'm only using the chatbot right now. Is the room active? Number of students. This is key. This is the number of flagged incidents in the room. And I'll get into that in a bit. Last time that the room was edited. So what I did was yesterday I went in and on my interactive board in front of the interactive panel in front of the room, pulled up a chatbot, said, who do you want to talk about from the Cold War? Students picked a person. We typed in the who, what, excuse me. And then from there, let me go. This is what got me flagged, but I was showing them how not to do this. Let me go back. Go back to here, Magic Tools. We'll start from the beginning. But in my chatbot, you are Joseph Stalin talking with a 10th grade U.S. history class. Explain why you created the Warsaw, and my typing's a bit off, Warsaw Pact. And you can go general. They tell me about the Cold War. And then you can put more knowledge in if you want. I didn't. I hit generate, and it gives you, I understand, and you can have it read to the class, which I did. I don't know if you could hear that or not. Probably not.
We're going to have to figure that out.
Yeah. So it goes through and tells I'm Joseph Stalin, and you go from there. You can, in some instances, it's not showing that right now because I'm in the school and I didn't open it up for my students, but you can have Magic School bump your prompt up and make it better. So what I did was I had AI jazz up the prompt. I let the kids, which one is the better prompt? And it breaks down what's different. Now, sometimes it was a negligible difference. Sometimes it was a bigger difference. And we went through with that. You can rate, is it good? Is it bad? And then it gives you prompts. Please start the lesson. Can you provide a brief overview before addressing the students? Or I can go in and type in my own information and hit actions. And it goes back and forth, and it will play through. So we did this on the big board with the students yesterday. We went through and I let them ask questions. I asked some questions. Sometimes we followed the prompts from Magic School AI. Sometimes we came up with our own, and we kind of worked through it as a class. Like, this is how you do it. The goal is, as a conversation, feed off of the points the chatbot's giving us. You can go sideways a little bit. You can vary if you want, if there's something that pops up, but make it so if you're having a conversation with somebody, you're listening to them and responding and having a natural flow. That was the goal. So it worked pretty good. Did a little blog post on it yesterday, mrsal.edublogs.org. Little pop for my blog there. And, have the blessings of my superintendent. And he's like, yeah, go ahead, work with it. So today I went in and I created the classes. Now, to launch a new room, it's simple. Hit launch new room. Name it. Grade level. I teach 10th grade. Maximum students. I think my largest class is 23. Hit next. And you could pull in the image generator if you want to give it an image generator, AI resource bot, custom chat bot, whatever you want to use with it. One thing I would do is prompt assist. I didn't add that. So in my students can't use AI to jazz up their prompts and improve them. That's one thing I should add, and moving forward I will. But I want them to just focus on the basics right now, and I try to explain to them with AI, it's that whole, garbage in, garbage out. The better your prompt, the better you focus your questions, the better the output's going to be for you. Excuse me. So that's what you want to focus on. Up here, you hit next. And I could customize any of these. Prompt assistant, I can name it. Give it a description. It has different voices you could use. What would you like the AI to do? And if you click on these little eyes, it hides information from the students. So they're either locked in with what you want them to do, or they have the ability to adjust things. So I close off, it's a 10th grade, so they can't adjust the level. You could type in a prompt if you want to give them a canned prompt. You can do that. I'm going to leave it open-ended. Save it. The prompt assistant, the same thing. You can't customize the image generator from Adobe Express, but that's okay. And get Launch Room. And once you launch the room, you can grab a URL, push it out through Google Classroom or a QR code. I did the join URL, pushed it out through Schoology.
Yeah.
And then it'll tell you all this, but like give you a sample. Pull up period 3. They were good kids. Now, click on the room. You'll see all the kids while they're working. Tells you if they're on task, off task, inactive. Now it flagged me. So I can check the comments. So I asked, you're Elvis Presley talking with 10th grade history class about early rock and roll. And then it comes in the character, hey there, young cat, just jumpsuit Elvis here, talking about things. I asked, did you ever fight Wayne Newton? Flags it for violence. There were rumors of him fighting Wayne Newton, but I was trying to be a troublemaker. And I was showing my students, like, if I act like a knucklehead, this is going to grab my comments. And then, can I have one of your caps or jumpsuits? And again, it's, chuckling and adjusting the collar. Well, hold on there, trying to get me back on task, and goes that route. So it tries, if a student's off task, it tries to steer them back. It will grab comments. Now, one thing I did find, like this student asked some good questions, but it dealt with violence and they got flagged, but I was able to go in and check. And I told the student, like, listen, you're asking questions about war and violence, but it's a legitimate classroom question. You're not going to lose points for being flagged because that's a legitimate question. Asking a dictator why they were cruel, it might get flagged a little bit, but it's a legitimate question. You're not asking, like the one I asked, my name's Sarah. I asked the AI chatbot, I'm Sarah Connor. Are you going to come after me? And it's like, haha, I appreciate you trying to make a joke relating to the Terminator movie. If you want to speak about movie history and, Hollywood, the role Hollywood plays in historical movies, we'll talk, but please get back on task. So it steers you. And I was doing the anti-role model, like, look, I could see what you guys are doing. Don't do this. Then some students got flagged, legitimate questions, and we explained that as the class. You're good. You're not trying to be a jerk. You're not trying to be malicious. But the question is sensitive. So we went through that, but it shows, and you have a record of all the kids, what they did, who was active, who wasn't active. So you have a log of who was doing what. Now, the goal is tomorrow, you're going to roll it out. Students asked, and I trust them. I forget who it was, on social media posted, having all the kids do the same project is not creative. It's copying. It's not creativity. It's copying. So I'm giving the kids the freedom. We're going to use the chat bot, but I'm going to give them the suggested list of figures we talked about during the Cold War unit. They'll have the option, if they have someone else they want to talk about that was in that era, they can pull them in, create the who, what, who's the person, who are they talking to, what do they want to talk about, get a conversation going. And you're allowed, like I asked Stalin who his favorite American musician was. And yesterday Stalin played with it, like looked around to make sure no one was listening. And I don't really like American music, but Paul Robeson I really liked. And he kind of, believed in some of the stuff we did. And then Louis Armstrong was a great trumpet player, but nobody's as good as this Russian, even though he had to be re-educated. So they do stay in character. The only thing is the kids were kind of bummed. The voice was always female that I had. You can't change that once you set it. But you can set the tone. You can make it more jovial, more serious, and that goes in your prompt. So tomorrow the kids are going to do that. My honors kids will take their response and the record of everything, post it into their EduBlogs account, and then write a reflection. My regular classes don't have a blog. They'll do it on the Google Doc, and I'll take that and I'll embed it in a Wakelet and publish their writing in a Wakelet. So they're going to show their knowledge of the Cold War from our lessons by conversing with a chat bot. Then they're going to take that, reflect on the overall assignment, and I'll have that work published. So that's the game plan.
All right. That's good stuff.
How it works.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works. But baby steps. We did the group work. Then I let them play a little bit today. And some of the kids, I'm like, okay, you're starting to push the boundaries a little bit. Like, this is not acceptable. Like, we just wanted to see how far we could push the boundaries before, but we know, like, when I'm like, okay, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good stuff. And I will say your presentation skills are definitely kicking up and doing great. So I like that. A good walkthrough. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, sure thing. All right. So let's kick off with our third and final tech note of the day. All right. So I've talked about and shared about what I use in my classroom for March Math Madness. And, so I'm looking here. We got the selection for March Madness is March 16th, Sunday. So we got a little time. So today in my math classes, I went to my math classes. I went to my teaching partners because the first year she'll be doing this with us. And we talked about, March Madness and how we do it. And I wanted to show the website that we use, and everything I do is free. It's a really cool website. So it's called Challenge. Is the name of the website. We've been using this for many years. And again, you can sign up for free. So just to show you what it has when you scroll down, let me make this a little bit bigger. All right. You scroll down, just your tournament, your way. And here are the different things. Like, I just do a single elimination tournament. They got double elimination, a free for all, compete against several participants at once in each match. Again, you in the back end doing different things, but it kind of organizes it. Round robin, Swiss leaderboard, Grand Prix, single race, time trial. Now, these are what it shows. I only use the single elimination, so don't come at me, bro, as I like to say. But if you choose one of them and it's not free, like I said, I stick with the single elimination. It's how I set it up. So just to take a quick look. All right, so you go in, so we got 2019, 2022, 2024. I won't pull those up because the kids' names being in there. And then looks like my old trucker picture. But you go and you create your tournament. So I'm going to create a tournament. You would just whatever, who's the host, and then what do you want your tournament name to be? So we'll just call it the PHAT pod. All right. Then here, if there's any description that's needed, URL. Now, I don't necessarily make this public facing, and I'll talk about how I do it. So I don't really worry about the URL too much. All right. Then I get down here and it's like, okay, so putting a game allows your tournament to be discovered easier. I'm not going to worry about that. I go down. It's a single stage tournament. So it's just going through single elimination. And it says break ties with, and I do the break ties on my own. So I don't worry about anything it's doing. Provide a list of participants, right? Again, we're doing free. And then if, it's nobody's registering. So I'm just handling it. When is it going to start? Really? Again, because I'm running it, I could start it wherever. All right. And then I get down here. We don't need to worry about any of these features. Then we go to, if you wanted to look into different things with your advanced options, again, I'm not necessarily giving anything for my students to do. I'm using this in the back end. I'm creating it. I'm presenting it through PowerPoint, through Google Slides, whatever you choose to do. So I get here, it might flag me. All right, so it's asking. So sport. I'm just gonna math. All right, math fights. All right, so let's go down. Required start time, and we're just gonna put today 8 p.m. All right, so we're starting then. Let's see what else we get flagged with. All right, now when you go in, it's going to, when you go over here, you're going to have to go in to add your participants. And that's where, so what I do is I actually, we use a program called Freckle. And the kids have been using it for all of 4th grade, 5th grade, and now they're in 6th grade with me. So think of something that you do in your classroom. And it doesn't even have to really be anything. But what I basically do is I take our whole team from 1 to like 105, whatever number we're at right now. And I copy each class into a spreadsheet, and then I sort it by how many coins. So it gives me my 1 through whatever, kind of like the NCAA would do. You could just do it with your class and just plug it in and have it be alphabetical. There's no rhyme or reason to really setting it up. But the beauty is when you go in and you press the button, it's going to automatically pull all of your seedings and create 4 brackets for you. Now, what I do is, so our 4 main teachers, we will, like my bracket's the Panther bracket because I went to Sauk Valley up in the Lehigh Valley, and we were the Panthers. My new teaching partner, she went to a neighboring district here, Red Lions, so they were the Lions. So that's going to be the Lion bracket. So we kind of go with our mascots, and we go and we create our 4 brackets based on that. And the kids are randomly kind of put in, and we just pick some kind of activity, and we'll give them a math assignment, and we'll have them do it online in the evening. And we basically, what they score is their head to head, kind of like playing a basketball game. So if, Dom gets an 80 and I get a 70, Dom wins. He advances to the next level. So when you come in, you actually go in and you plug in the different information on the site. So let me pull back to one of my other. Previously created ones. So let's go with this one we have. All right, this one was an older one. All right, so it actually has the different kids that were listed. And as you go through, you say you put in what the scores were, and it automatically advances, and it just scrolls all the way through. And then basically it gives you the vertical, like here are all the brackets vertically down. So it's not going left to right. And but there's a section for the finals. But the nice thing is, as you're working on it, it is, so it does. Oh, so I apologize. It is left to right. So it does have your bracket set up, and you kind of go down, and then you're working through. So here's your final 4, and then your final 2, right? And then your championship game. So when I set it up and I was using it, I would actually just screen clip it, and I would put it into a PowerPoint. And when the kids get to school in the morning, I would print the page. They would come in and they would look on the one door outside of our team area, and it would show who competed last night, what the scores were, who advanced, kind of a deal all the way down. And so we're going to start it the week of the 17th. We have 2 competitions a night, and we have them work through. Now, using it in school, it's not just a single elimination. You're totally out. How we work it is there's a time commitment. And if during the week the kids are getting on and basically doing their homework, doing the different things, they keep track of their time. And so even though you lost in the first round, you're still eligible. And the ultimate win is there's a pizza party at the end. And,
Nice.
Out of the 100 kids, it gets down to like 20 kids that have the longevity, the grit to kind of keep it going and fight to be a part of that. And then we pick up we have pizzas delivered from a local restaurant around here. And then the kids I tell them it's the secret faculty room back behind the cafeteria. We'll get them soda, get them some chips. But again, we kind of hit that point where we're all getting ready. We're all prepping for testing. We're all different things going on. The weather's getting nice. Their attention span at home. I tell the kids, it's like teachers. It's nice out. We don't want to be in grading papers. We want to be outside, just like you do. But it's a way to kind of keep them focused and have like just every week remind them where they're at and kind of keep that goal going. So, and then what I always joke is like, even though it's called March Madness, the championship game's April 7th. So during that week is when we'll be rolling out the final. And what we do is for our top two, we get usually it's just 2 gift cards, like Five Below and a Target card, or, the winner gets the pick of the 2. The second place person gets the pick the other one. So just a little something. I know I talked about it before, but that challenge, CHALLONGE.com is the name of the website. What you're able to set up there is free. So, you could pop it in, use that as your back end to kind of figure out who's going up against whom. But just a neat way to kind of liven things up in the classroom.
Yeah, that's a cool tool. Definitely a cool tool.
Yeah. I've been, hiding that one from me for a while, but, and I'm sure there'd be ways for you to even use it in your classes that have your different periods kind of compete. But the cool thing is the way it does is whatever the assignment is, they don't have to be in the same period to go up against each other. It's just an activity in the evening.
Yeah.
Just kind of do different stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. A Kahoot, you have to pay for the higher upgrade, has a thing that's similar to that, but you could do that with any of the review games. Have the challenges, the kids get their score, turn it in, and play through it.
Yeah, the big thing is whatever activity you're having them do, if you're doing it online, having all the kids do that same online thing. The other nice thing for us when we're using the Freckle program is it's adaptive. So the kids have the same assignment. So the curriculum is the goal. I want them to study inequalities, but Dom may be higher level in math. I may be lower level in math. So Dom's questions about inequalities, you're getting maybe 2-step problems. You're getting some decimals where I'm getting a 1-step. I'm just, maybe it's only doing addition, subtraction for me. So it's still, it's kind of evening the playing field between you and I, because we have different math levels. So even when you're doing it, I try to be cognizant of that. And because again, you got some of those kids are like, oh, well, I'm going up against Dom. He's really smart at this, so I'm not even going to try, So you just try to do what you can to kind of, excite them and pep them up. And I'm like, listen, even if you lose, you can still get to pick out that, bacon and pineapple pizza or whatever it is you want. And be able to come in and enjoy that. I saw that brow look, bacon and pineapple. I was making something up. I would never eat that. Pineapple on pizza.
The mad math skills. You are too kind. Because that's one of the things, and going down over the list, a lot of the generative AI does not work. The large language models do not work well with math. They can map out the steps and tell you, but they can't do the computations. And I always tell them, we're not getting into the dark arts, but for those of you that use this, like, don't use this on your homework. It'll help you break down the steps, but you still have to do the work because it can't do the math. And I emphasize that with the kids. It's like, it's not the end all be all. It's a step in the process.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes, sir.
But
yeah. All right. Well, I think it's
a lot of good information.
All right. I think we should talk a little bit about what is happening at PAECT. What do you think?
Definitely. There's a lot going on. Definitely going on around the state and virtually. So check it out.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's crank this. Here we go. All right, I'm pulling up the glide show because that is important for us to show. All right. So let's first start off. Oh, did I go over top? I did. All right, so here we go. Let's put this on the screen here. Apologize. All right, got my dark mode rolling, so hopefully that's not too bad for people to see. Let's go ahead and increase this font a little bit. All right. So in the month of March, the Ides of March. All right. So kicking off, we already had North and South Central had their Hershey game. I didn't even hear, if the Bears won or if it was the Williamsport team. I forget the Wilkes-Barre Penguins or something. I forget. So, but I do know they had a pretty good bit of people that were going to that. We've got Leap and Learn happening on Thursday, and that's is a
Northwest.
All right, Navarro's Bar and Grill. Is that Dave Navarro?
That would be nice, but it's not. I think that's I I don't think that's all the way up in I don't know if that's in Grove City, because there was a discrepancy on the address, but that's something to look into.
Okay. All right. And then, of course, we got the pod next week and kicking through. And that looks like what's in 2 weeks. And that's looks like March is kind of hit there. So let's go in the glide. Let's check out what we got. Oh, February's come and gone. Oop. All right. Okay. The in-person event. All right. And just tiptoeing. Looked like South Central Ed Camp and the TERS event is happening that same weekend up in Bloomsburg University, our higher ed conference. So that's what we have. So, we have our board meeting at the end of March. So a lot of other things are going to be set on the calendar. So a lot of good things happening during this month.
Check out the mails, the emails from the regional directors. I know Southwest is looking for people with ideas. Reach out to Addie Wallace. You have Northwest has some events. People have some virtual things going on. So you get the educational technology today. You have the email blasts. The website, check that out for information from PHAT on events going on around the state. Some are in person, some are virtual.
Yeah. Yep. And that's just in general. If you have an idea, reach out to your regional director. If you're not sure who they are, when you go onto the pht.org website, you can go ahead and click on regions and scroll through. So let me put it back up on the screen. So I'm just on PHT, was on the calendar before, and right here I go to regions, and I can just go through and see who it is that I want to check. So I'll go South Central, and then on the page just gives us a welcome, and then Sue Allen is right there. Email address, you can go ahead and click on it and then head on in, and there's the crew. So every page is going to have different information to reach out. So feel free to check that out. So pht.org for more information. All right, man. So Foshnotts are finishing up. Lent starts tomorrow. A lot of different things rolling. Exciting times. Season. Yes. Good fish fry. Yes. Cannot negate that. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. And you got play season happening and a lot of different places
are going on around here.
Yeah.
It is a busy season.
That it is.
And
that is. All right.
Draft is coming up. Agency, draft. So much football talk, so little time.
One more opportunity to get me in trouble. I like that. Okay. So when my wife is listening, I appreciate that. She's I'm just saying, listen, message dominic.salvucci@pht.org. So she can reach out to you, Dom, and yell at you. All right. We won't even go over when I was looking up the draft. I'm not even looking up. We're not going to talk about the date. We'll worry about that later. All right, brother. Well, a lot to talk about, a lot of good stuff in store. Yeah. So truly appreciate everybody listening. Those who are listening live, those who are listening while walking their dogs, driving to work, driving home from work, whatever the case may be. We appreciate you taking the time to allow us to be a part of your commute.
Thank you very much.
All right. And as always, PHAT, we are
the voice of EdTech in Pennsylvania
and
beyond.
All right. Have a lovely rest of your week. Let's thank the sponsors.
PAACT would like to say thank you to all of our sponsors.
Venture sponsor, EduSpire, corporate council members, ClassLink, ClearTouch.
Thank you to our gold sponsors.
And Teachers First.
We at PAACT truly appreciate your support. Thank you once again.